Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And boy, oh boy, Jermell Charlo is starting to get that pressure from these different sanctioning bodies. Because this man is undisputed at 154 pounds, he is going to have a lot of mandatories. WBO is already trying to screw him, pushing the mandatory Tim Tszu on Jermell, giving him a 20-day window to actually come up with an agreement. If not, they go to a $200,000 purse bid, which you know that's not going to work for Jermell, who's making millions. That means that $200,000 will be split between Jermell and Tszyu. If he can't come to terms with Tszyu, and then for some reason it goes a purse bid, and of course he's not going to agree with the money, then he will lose his WBO belt. And this is what sucks about being undisputed and why there need to be common mandatories. Because he's not going to want to fight Tim Tszu. You know what I'm saying? And if so, he's definitely not looking to go to no damn purse bid of $200,000. And this is how you see guys get these belts, whether they have one belt or they're unified. They don't want to deal with the BS. But the bottom line, Tim Tszu, there's like different boxing styles. And every boxer you can kind of fit into one of these boxing categories in regards to style. And in my opinion, Tim Tszu is more of he's like a Rolly Romero, okay? Rolly Romero can fight, no doubt, but he's not really floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. He's not fancy feet. He doesn't have fancy feet. And you saw what happens when those guys get in there with someone who's a boxer puncher. The boxer puncher may be the most dangerous fighter walking around. Not just the puncher, not just the kind of swarmer, but that boxer puncher can do everything. They're a problem. And that's what you had. That's what you had in Tank against Romero. And that's what you have in Jermell Charlo against Tim Tszu. So if they go forward, I fully believe the fight is going to end the way Tank and Romero ended, in a knockout. But I think it's going to end maybe earlier. But Tim Tszu is strong when he first comes out. He really is strong. But it's not going to matter against Jermell. I just don't think he's going to matter. Yeah, he has a little more height than Castano, but he really reminds me of Rolly. He's just kind of coming along looking to get you out there with heavy shots. But the thing is, we know Rolly's awkward. Rolly's quirky. But Tim Tszu, his punches don't really flow together. He's not a free swinger like Arturo Gatti, where he's just swinging freely, but it all flows together. It looks so nice. And you knew it was powerful. Tim Tszu still looks like he's trying to figure it out in the ring. And he's susceptible to that damn straight right hand. He's been dropped twice. He got hurt twice with that big right hand. And we know what Jermell is coming with. Big right hand, big left hook. So I just don't see Tim Tszu being able to survive a fight with Jermell Charlo. But again, we're talking about different boxing styles, right? And history has just shown us that there's a lot of controversial and some of the more talked about decisions that involve fights between guys with these different boxing styles. That's why for some people, the Rolly Romero-Tank Davis fight was controversial. I don't think so, but it's just the different boxing styles. And a lot of people compare these contrasting styles to like a boxer versus puncher, bull versus the matador, or an aggressor versus the counterpuncher, which you can see some of that in, Tszyu and Charlo, or almost any fighter. You can kind of put them into one of those categories. But these are like high-level categories, and it can distinguish one's boxing style from another. And in my opinion, we talk about a guy like Leonard Hagler. That's like Leonard would be the boxer, puncher. Hagler would be more of the puncher. And then you have Chris Algieri is more of the boxer, and then Providnikov, the puncher. So you can see like with the Leonard and Hagler, Algieri and Providnikov, the similarities in those styles. But, Leonard definitely had more punch than Algieri, but you understand what I'm saying. One guy is floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, high boxing IQ, and the other guy is just kind of coming along trying to chop you down. And that's what you get in these contrasting styles. And a lot of time it boils down to which style the judge likes the most. And that's what happens. So in addition to the boxer punch, you have like the swarmer, who's more like the infighter, who's just getting inside and letting his shots go by applying that constant pressure and taking away the spacing and timing from his opponent. And they tend to be very aggressive and very relentless, just pressuring their opponents and just trying to break them down like a Marcos Maidana. But a couple of examples of swarmers were like old school, Rocky Marciano, Jake LaMotta, and someone who you all should know of is Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier is a great example of one of those guys you call a swarmer. We've seen him do it in fights. Tried to do it with Foreman, did it with Muhammad Ali, did it with a lot of other great fighters. Just get inside, take your space and time away from you, and just lets his hands go. Then there's the pure boxer, or, he's the outfighter. He's the guy that's an Amir Khan type guy, a Floyd Mayweather type guy, who's the exact opposite of the swarmer. He's not necessarily trying to get in close and close the distance and disrupt your timing. He's trying to stay on the outside and outbox you. So the pure boxer seeks to make, in my opinion, maintain a distance from their opponent and fight with faster, longer range punches. And that's what, not every boxer can do that, because it has everything to do with distance and range. Tyson Fury, great example. Amir Khan, great example. Who else was long? And what's his name? Hearns, great example. So they can be experts at both the defense and offense. But pure boxers are typically known for being very elegant and extremely quick on their feet, which also often makes up for a lack of power. Erislandy Lara, but now his feet are gone. So what's going to happen when he meets that guy who is just going to pressure him and he can't hurt? Then what happens to Erislandy Lara? He was in it with O'Sullivan. Sullivan's tough, but his better days are behind him. So to me, Erislandy Lara dodged a bullet. But going forward, him being the pure boxer that he is, without those legs, he's going to be in trouble. But some of the more well-known pure boxers will be Muhammad Ali, then Floyd Mayweather, and of course, Pernell Whitaker. If you don't know who those guys are, you've been sleeping underneath a rock, climb from underneath that rock, get on YouTube, look at their fights. Then you have the sluggers. And he just need to get the hell out the way when the slugger comes through, man. That's that brawler puncher. That's that George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Sonny Liston. Those are guys, you better not allow them to get close to you, because if they hit you, you're out of there. But they're characterized as everything is just brutal, man. It's just all about the sport of boxing. Like just the viciousness, the ferociousness of boxing. And a lot of the sluggers tend to lack finesse in the ring, but make up with it with raw power and often able to knock out almost any opponent with a single punch. And let me see, Deontay Wilder. But he's kind of a boxer puncher, but he'd be more of a slugger because he's doing certain things to keep his distance. So he's like a combination of the two. He's like a little fried rice, combination. Little boxer, puncher, slugger, not really a brawler. But I would say Deontay Wilder would kind of fall into several categories. But you get what I'm saying, man. They're going to be relentless, throw punch after punch. The sluggers seek to end the fight with just one devastating punch, and most of the times they do. So you see these guys with these high knockout percentages, those are more of those sluggers, man. Sluggers who can really get you out of with that one shot. We talk about Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Deontay Wilder. But the boxer puncher is the one. That's the one you need to run from. That's the guy that'll hurt you. It'll get you out of there. The boxer puncher, man. They possess a lot of the qualities of the pure boxer: hand speed, often an outstanding jab, combination and counter-punching skills. Better defense and accuracy than the slugger, while also possessing slugger-type power. That is the guy you be nice to. Excuse me, sir. Oh, didn't mean to step. Oh, if your wife does something, you smack her and tell her, get out the way. Like, leave that person alone. Oh, you need to borrow $5? Here's 10. That guy. But they typically have skill, power, everything a pure boxer, man, that you want a pure boxer to have. They can do everything, man, but it's the boxing technique and that surprising power that these guys have. And when you talk about it, right, Roy Jones, good example of just really a boxer puncher. Power, boxer, just damn near impossible to defeat him till his legs went. Alexis Arguello, same thing, man. crazy boxer puncher. And Sugar Ray Robinson, and man, knocking everybody out, and just boxing and getting out of the way. So when you look at that breakdown of the different like fighting styles in boxing, man, the swarmer, the pure boxer, the slugger, the boxer puncher. Just which one do you like? Who do you feel falls into those categories? With this fight here, Jermell Charlo is the boxer puncher, and I would say the swarmer would probably be Tim Tszu, because he has to try to close the distance and disrupt your timing. He can't sit on the outside and box with Jermell, and we all know that. So that's what it's going to be. When it comes to styles, it's going to be the boxer puncher and Jermell against the swarmer and Tim Tszu. But you guys leave your comments below and let me know what you think. And, you know, I may do a video on this, different fighting styles, because it's very interesting. Because when you really think about those definitions that I just briefed to you guys, we could put our favorite fighters in one of these categories, and some of them could wear 2 or 3 of these hats. But the boxer puncher, in my opinion, that's the guy that they just leave them alone. The boxer puncher will get you out of there, and it would be hard to track him down. And like Amir Khan is another boxer puncher, but he was chinny. But at the end of the day, it's my 2 cents on it. I just don't think Tszyu stands a chance. And I think that it's kind of sucked for Jermell to kind of accomplish such a great milestone in boxing. But with these mandatories and these different sanctioning bodies not being on the same sheet of music, he's gonna get stripped of something, man. Unless they can work things out, start paying step-aside fees, and it's just all crap. It really is all crap. I don't agree with it. But, you know, it is what it is. But that being said, you know, like and subscribe, more to come. Shout out to all the veterans. You know, which style do you like? Me personally, I like them all. I think styles make fights. It's always nice when you see a boxer puncher go against a boxer puncher, a swarmer against a swarmer, a brawler against a brawler, and the pure boxer against a pure boxer. When you start to mix it up, that's where you get really interesting fights. And sometimes the fights can become boring, where you see guys, as some people describe as running, because the pure boxer doesn't necessarily want to stand in and trade with the swarmer or the brawler. They want to get the hell out of Dodge, create that space, and let the shots go. And it's just a matter of who can control the real estate, who can impose their style. And whoever wins the foot fight, in my opinion, that's the guy who gains the advantage and goes on to get the win. But, you know, in boxing, it just takes one punch and anything can happen. But that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the channel. Shout out to the veterans. Y'all keep safe. And as always, y'all in the breed.